Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, everybody. Thank you, Steve, for kicking off the contribution. Said, what is it? What it is, good sister and peace, blessed day to be alive. It definitely is. Thank you so much. All right. So I just kind of want to have a little bit of a conversation today about this soft guy era, the drizzle, blah, 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 blah. And it's got a lot of chicks triggered. It's got a lot of women in a chokehold at this point. And I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit because when the videos first started coming out, I immediately understood it as satirical. It was a direct response to Sprinkle and the foolishness that women online like to say as it pertains to dating scenarios and what's good, what's bad, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. And so the men, or some men, came up with the idea to basically troll it and start repeating almost verbatim a lot of the stuff that's gone viral before about women's so-called standards and her expectations about what she's not going to accept in terms of a relationship. You know, she not going to do 50-50. She needs somebody to take care of her and so that she can rest in her femininity. So once again, the men have decided to troll that and say, well, I need to rest in my masculinity. So she needs to, come up with all of the stuff that she's asking me for, take me out on the date, pay for me, all these different expenses. And, if I want my hair cut, she should do it. And if she don't do it, she dusty. And, you know what I'm saying? And all that type of stuff. And so from the outset, it's funny or what have you, or it can be funny. And there is a humor to it because when women are saying it, it sounds just as ridiculous. And so the men are saying it now, and the women's response is like, well, wait a minute. Y'all are not supposed to think like that. And it's, it's sassy and all of that type of stuff that they have to say about it. The thing about it is, the reason why the women are starting to get up in arms about it is because not only does it sound ridiculous, I think that they're afraid that men would take that seriously, that it would stop being a satire and a troll online, and that the younger men would then begin to act this out in real life, so that when you meet them, then they want that. They not going to accept coffee dates, and they not going to accept, going in a cheesecake factory and, what I'm saying, and all of this type of stuff. I think that the reason that the women are upset is because if men decided that they were going to come out of the role that men typically do and traditionally do, then we're in trouble. Women are in trouble. There was a video where Shira 7 kind of answered it back a little bit, and she was like, you know, the drizzle drizzle. She realized that the drizzle drizzle was a direct response to her and the sprinkle sprinkle. And she was like, oh, you know, it sounds silly and da 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 da. But when she's handing out these recipes for relationship disaster that she hand out, all of a sudden this is awesome advice and good advice for women to follow. And if they want a sponsor, if they want a sugar daddy, if they want a rich man and blah 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 blah, she sells them a dream about they're all going to be able to find a rich man. They're all going to be able to utilize her tactics in order to secure this rich man. And so when she's doing it, or when she's giving that type of uh information, as we'll call it, this is supposed to be putting women up on game. Okay. But when the men come and basically say the exact same thing, now it's ridiculous. I think the reason why women are afraid that men are going to take this away from the arena of satire and trolling and actually put it into practice in their day-to-day life, like in real life offline, is mainly because the women do that. The women do it. The women follow Shira. Shira 7 has a large following. Shira 7 does not have a small following. She's been on YouTube and so forth and on for a long time. Not that Princella does the same thing. She doesn't necessarily talk about gold digging. She's got another thing going. But just to use her rhetoric, she has a larger following. She's not small. There are a lot of women who subscribe to the things that she's talking about. And all of these Shira 7 duplicates, online duplicates, that are spewing the gold digging rhetoric, and this is how you're supposed to do this, and this is how you're supposed to do that. A lot of these females have bigger followings, and the younger females are picking up on it, and they are actually trying to implement the things that these women are saying, the rhetoric that these women have. They are not leaving it just online or in a post or in a viral video. I'm sorry. They're actually trying to put this stuff into practice for real. And so and women have pretty much always done that. This is just sort of new, the Shira thing and all of that type of thing. But women did the same exact thing with the concept of feminism. Women took it and ran with it and took it way into its extremes. Took it to its extremes. They took sexual liberation to its extreme. Hence why we have fop culture and, you know what I'm saying, this culture of females over sexualizing themselves and selling it, and, you know, basically prostitution in many different forms. Thinking because you'll have a woman or a couple of women come out and do something and say, this is how you get male attention, or this is how you get money, or this is how you know, become a bad bee, or this is how you get ahead. This is how, you know what I'm saying, you be a step above other women. And so they'll go and they will sell themselves somehow. Whether it's OnlyFans, whether it's really on the street, whether it's looking for sponsors or sugar daddies or whatever the case may be. And then women will see that and then they'll jump on the bandwagon. And there are a lot of different examples of women doing that. The whole reality TV thing got sparked off. Remember Flavor of Love? Like 20 years ago. What Flavor of Love come out? What, 2000, 2001, 2? The early 2000s. Flavor of Love was on VH1. And before that, those types of reality shows was not a thing. It wasn't a thing, right? I mean, you had reality shows, but not of that ilk. Like you had MTV that had like the real life and stuff like that. So there was a such thing as reality shows, but not in that strain. Okay. And then Flavor of Love took it in a different direction. Okay. Getting these women together and, blah, 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 blah. And when Black women saw, because it was majority Black women on those shows, it was like a sprinkling of one or two white women, but it was a majority of Black women on those shows. Women was like, oh, I could get on TV, not have talent. This doesn't require talent. I can get on there and I either got to look a certain way, I got to act a fool, or I got to do a combination of both in order to be popular, in order to be recognized, in order to be recognized through this. So we got the OG reality stars, New York, which was Tiffany Pollard, Delicious. Okay. We had a whole Bucky still on reality TV shows. So those are the OGs. And they learned that if we get on here, we argue, we fight, we twerk, we do whatever, we'll get some money and we'll get some recognition. Then you had all these different ones. And right around the same time, you had Bad Girls Club, was like early and mid 2000s. And all of those different shows, Bad Girls Club was the same way. And then you had the Basketball Wives come out. And then you had just going down the line, the Love and the Hip Hops, and I'm saying, all of the spinoff shows that came from it, and all of that type of stuff. So you had this almost this movement of women not realizing that let this be this small cropping of women. And that the majority of us as real women, we don't want to actually partake in getting on television, nationally syndicated television, and making a fool out of ourselves. Okay. Getting on there, arguing, fighting, twerking, being vulgar, being too sexual, being crass, a lot of the stripper culture came in. You understand what I'm saying? Like a lot of the stripper culture invaded the space of regular girls, regular women. And so there was a whole culture of women that decided this was how we really needed to act in real life. So women, and the reason I went through all of that is because women have kind of a history of taking something that's not supposed to be taken seriously, and not supposed to be the norm and not meant to be normalized and regular and all that, and making it mainstream and making it normal and regular. So now fast forward in 2024, we got the Sukihanas and the Sexy Reds and the Ruby Rose and the Krishan Rocks, and we got all of them now because they're a direct product of taking all of this stuff too far. And so, since we know that a lot of women like to project, now that men are doing drizzle, they're apprehensive now because it's like, okay, y'all saying it's a joke, but are the men going to basically do what we did, which was take something that wasn't meant to be mainstream, it wasn't meant to be normalized, it wasn't meant for all the men to do it, or really for any men to really do it, and then are they going to start doing it? Because if the men decide that they aren't going to be men anymore, traditionally, just like the women have decided that they're not going to be traditional anymore, then the women realize that they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Because if the men are coming in and saying, even in a real relationship, even in a marriage, like, I'm not going to do any other traditional things that you think a man should do. So I'm not protecting you. I'm not really going to problem solve for you. Uh, I'm not really going to provide too much for you or anything like that. And we can have a lot of sex if you want. But when it comes to money and stuff, I might put a couple of dollars in here and there, but I'm not really going to contribute too heavily financially to it, because I figure like you got it. And if you don't got it, I mean, I don't know what to say. I guess I might have to leave you, because if you don't have it, then you probably became dusty. So therefore, I'm not going to stay with no female that's dusty, because you can't even provide in the household like you did. You see what I'm saying? They're afraid that the guys are actually going to do it. Now, the interesting part of this is that my generation and the millennial men, I'm not thinking that they're going to take any of that. They know it's satirical. They know it's stupid. They're not going to not do what they've been doing as men. They're not going to do. However, the Gen Z boys, some of them might actually do that. Why am I saying that? Because the young generation of boys was raised in this society of, quote unquote, the genders are equal. See, you can only drill that the genders are equal for so long before the boys start believing that. See, women have counted on men still being men regardless of the direction of the society. That men were going to continue to be men just off the principle of, well, this is manhood, so we're going to do it. And for the vast majority, that's been the case, right? However, you've also been conditioning young boys to believe that girls and boys are the same. You've been conditioning the last couple generations that marriages and relationships are equal partnerships. See, y'all been conditioning these kids to believe that. Now you're upset and you in a chokehold now, because now after you've conditioned them to do it, now you scared they gonna really do it. See, y'all talked that partnership stuff. Well, why come we can't just get rid of the gender roles? Why can't we share all the responsibilities down the middle? Why he can't rear the kids and stay at home? Why I can't go out and have a career and things of that nature? Why can't we do this? And now the young boys believe this. They believe the conditioning and the brainwashing that you've been giving them. See, older generations of men are already set on what manhood is. Manhood has been the same across generations, across cultures, across time spans. The basis of manhood and what has been expected of men in a basic sense has always been the same pretty much across the board. You can go to any culture and men are going to basically say, well, we're the ones that shoulder the brunt of, building infrastructure. We gonna build the society. We gonna protect our families. We the ones that go to war. We the ones that fight. We the ones that you rule in rulership. We the ones that's gonna be the president or the king or the prime minister or whatever it is we're gonna be. And men have always done that. Men have not changed by and large on the consensus of what men are supposed to do. Even when men have decided, when it has come to a point where the men have decided and believed that indeed we are all androgynous, there is no real difference between males and females, that's when you're talking about the fall of a society. This is how Rome and all that kind of stuff failed. This is the reason why it failed, because the society reaches a point of decadence. And then all of that systematic brainwashing throughout the generations comes to a head. And when the men decide that they're just as feminine as the women, and that feminine and masculine energy is fluid, and that all of it is the same ultimately, and we're all going to do the same things, and we're all going to fulfill the same roles and all of that kind of stuff, then society actually will fall. Because if the men don't uphold it, society will fall. If the men abandon the post of manhood, society is gone. See, if women abandon the post of womanhood, society is crippled. Okay? If women abandon the post of womanhood, it cripples the society. It cripples it. It throws it into dysfunction. And if the men don't correct the women, then it will continue to run in dysfunction until it grinds itself down. And when I say that, I'm not saying that everything is the man's fault. I'm just saying men bring order. So if the order is not brought, then there will be no order. If the men ever decide to leave the post of masculinity and manhood, society will not just be crippled, it will fall almost immediately. That's almost an immediate fall. This is why feminism should never have been embraced. But we have to understand that that was a design as well. That was a design. Feminism is a design, is a destructive system. It's meant as a destabilizing agent. It is a destabilizing agent. And we've been through that. It's designed to destroy and destabilize societies, communities, groups of people. It's meant to do that because it induces a bioculturon effect. If it is allowed to fester and grow like a cancer, it then induces a bioculturon effect, which introduces a lost value system to begin with, and then you just rot from the inside out. After these messages, we'll be right back. Because I need every one of you to go to ashkicking.com. Click on the link. Let me see if I can pin it. My apologies for having not pinned it before. Give me just a second. Here we go. I need you guys to go to ashkicking.com. The link is now pinned to the top of the chat. Summertime, or at least springtime, is upon most of us in the United States, right? And so we're gonna start wearing t-shirts. Your little ashy elbows gonna be out, your elbows and your ankles. All right, your elbows, your ankles, and for some of us, them knees. And if we want them knees, them elbows, and them ankles to be pristine and not ashy, you're going to have to go to ashkicking.com and pick you up some of the best body butter on the market. All right. And if this is going to be your first order, please take advantage of the 10% discount using the code Crimson at checkout. So check out their body butter and the rest of their wonderful personal care products. You will not be disappointed. I promise you that. Once again, it's ashkicking.com and the link is at the top of the chat. I don't know how many likes I need, but I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to go ahead and hit the like button for me. Let me read the super chats. Thank you, Miss Beshua. Said recipe or a spell. Madam Sprinkle has mentioned spells before. Yeah, I know she a witch. Red Sigma, the toxic BW messes on the job as well. Thank you, Willie, for your super stick. I appreciate you. Thank you, Miss Lou Casely, for yours as well. Thank you. Swiss cheese is nasty. Swiss cheese is kind of nasty, but when you melt it on a burger, it's all right. Just broke up with this with this chick yesterday. Can't even wash the dishes and get the food off the counter. Some Black women are lazy. Thank you, Tokyo Traveler. Said Gen X men are going to get a lot of dates soon. Thank you, Antonio. Said Kendra, my fellow Illinoisan. Great take on gender roles and the decline of culture. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. And everything is a cycle. Okay. So we agree with that. So I left off with talking about the inducement of a biocultural event by introducing feminism into a society. It is, and it has proven itself to be, a destabilizing agent for that reason. All destabilizing agents produce a biocultural event. Okay. All of them. That's why they destabilize. That's what's being destabilized. What's being destabilized is the uprooting of a current value system in order to replace it. So whatever this community or society or country was doing that's got them on their current value system, what you do is you destabilize, and you either are going to change the biology, culture, and environment. You're going to change one of the three drastically, and then the other two quickly follow in succession in order to complete that process. Feminism works at both ends, but more so it works at the environmental end. What am I talking about? The environmental end. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, biocultural, it's my personal theory that in order to create a 10 life value system, your change begins in biology and then affects culture and environment. If you want to produce a lost value system, your change starts at environment, and then it affects biology and culture. So just the way that it runs is backwards anyway. And so therefore it creates a backwards value system. That's just my my theory on it. As to which value system gets created depends on where you start. So if you're going to start biologically, usually you're going to start with a biological truth, which is why you end up 9 times out of 10 with a 10 life value system. Environmentally, you can start out with a lie. So you can start out with making something legal or illegal that doesn't necessarily align with right and wrong. And then that'll start changing the biology and the culture. It'll start changing those other two things. So once those three things get affected by each other, because they always are affected by each other, then you start getting a different value system if you radically change them. So feminism is a destabilizing agent for that reason. This is why Western thought is considered dangerous in other cultures. That's why other cultures don't like Western culture. They see it as sometimes evil. They see it as demonic. They see it as a corruptive force. And so a lot of other countries and cultures do not like to introduce Western thought, and they'll go to sometimes extremes. to prevent Western thought from infiltrating their culture and their environment. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Kenya made it where environmentally it was wrong to be part of the alphabet community. So when I say they made it environmentally wrong, they passed law against it definitively. Like it wasn't just taken as this is not what we do. They definitively passed the law because biologically and culturally they don't support it anyway. So they made their environmental, their law of the land reflected in a very defined way, not just what's understood don't need to be explained type situation. Is no. We're gonna put this in black and white. Okay. And so this is why it was offensive to the Kenyan president that Kamala Harris would make her way over there to try to shame him and shame his country and shame his government away from having done that. And he vehemently rejected it. Like, no, we don't do that. We don't support it. We don't support any of that. Not only just the alphabet community, but none of the mindset, none of the other surrounding thought or cultural shifts. We don't support those either. All right. So they actively close the door on it. So they'll go to what, other Western societies would see as an extreme to try to stop it. That's because other people in other countries understand bioculturon. They get that. They get that. They're trying to do it in Middle Eastern countries, Muslim countries, and stuff like that as well, not just various African countries. See, it's just us American Blacks that forgot biology, culture, and environment. Our ancestors didn't forget that, and the melanated people on the motherland didn't forget it either. Okay. So it because the reason I'm saying all of this is because it is a destructive force. Like other countries recognize and other cultures recognize that the way in which Western cultures move is a destruction. It is devoid of a spiritual value at its core, so that it can't be good. It can't be good. So they deny it as best they can to keep from falling to it. Right? This is why in other countries like the Middle Eastern countries and Muslim countries, they don't do it either. Like, no, you cannot bring these Western thoughts. You can't shift our culture like that. No, we're not going to allow you to do that. Oh, the people in these other countries are oppressed. Well, then you can think that we're oppressed and backwards and all that kind of stuff, but we still not going to accept that you're going to have to fight us for that, because we're not just going to decide that what you feel is okay going on in American society is something that we have to do. We're not going to do that, because we see the ill of American society. Like, y'all have some wealth and some perks and some things that, you know what I'm saying, like we would like to have, and things of that nature, like in terms of political power and things of that nature. But at the same time, the collective of your society and how the people interact is actually bad. Like, we don't want that part. That's just like all the rules. Like when you go to some other Muslim countries, like you gotta wear some type of scarf on your head. If you're gonna leave out of the touristy areas and come into the main community, like you have to put something on. Put y'all can be naked on the tourist beach. We got that for Westerners. Y'all can be over there and we don't bother y'all. Cause y'all going in and out of the little resort and this that's the touristy area. You can be in your swimsuit over there. We don't come over there and bother you because we know that's what you want to do and we making money. So cool. But if you want to start integrating with our actual like everyday community and people, oh, you're gonna have to conform. You're gonna have to conform. Because they don't like essentially the lost value system. Even countries that got their own issues in their society, they don't want American problems. They don't want the problems. They can have their own issues that they navigate, but they don't want American problems. How did we get here from jizzle jizzle? Because in reality, women are afraid that men are going to take it and run with it for real and not a troll, not a joke, or any of that. And the women have created, generally speaking, the women have created the environment, or at least they have perpetuated the environment that give rise to this. You can't keep convincing young boys that they are not any different than girls, because if we're all the same, then shouldn't our expectations be the same of one another? Then there should be no men are looking for something different out of women than women are looking for out of men. When you brainwash generations of children for the last 70 years, and getting progressively worse as the generations continue, then you're going to end up where we are, with a generation of young men that say, okay, well, fine. If we're all the same, then what's the point of the gender role for me saying I got to do everything? No, she's going to have to do like half this work, half of my work. See, the women were cool with doing half the work as long as that meant men did half of the women's work. They don't like the concept that the men are saying, okay, now you do half of my work. You do half of my work. That's the 50-50 we're going to do. You do half of my work. And now the women are like, wait a minute, do half of your work. And of course, to my Gen X ears, this is all ridiculous, right? Because why would a man ever want to be in a soft era? This is unheard of, right? Why would a man ever want to be in a soft era? No man I know has ever wanted to be considered soft. Men have never wanted to be considered soft, because then that means that he's considered food, a victim, a target perhaps for other men to take advantage of him and to ruin him or destroy him. So men have never wanted to be viewed as soft, especially in front or around other men. Because again, a soft man is a target. A soft man is a victim. Soft man gonna get crushed, right? But when we take society as a whole, this is you see what I'm saying? You created men. These young boys, these teenage boys coming up. He's 20, he's 18. He said he might actually be like, wait a minute, that ain't a bad idea. That ain't a bad idea. Mm-mm. Matter of fact, you is gonna take me out on all these dates. Yep. You is gonna get my haircut. You is gonna buy me the new J's. Yeah. I think I'm gonna require that. I think I'm gonna require new J's every couple of months. And the women are terrified. The women are terrified. Got them in a whole chokehold. What if the men actually do that? Yeah, what if they do that? What if they do that? What if it's not trolling? What if it's not just a couple of videos? I mean, didn't women fight? And see, now you got a lot of young women backpedaling it. You got a lot of young women backpedaling it. And like, wait a minute, you mean the women before us fought for what? Yeah, the yo mama and your grandmama, okay, fought tooth and nail to be able to get somewhere and say she didn't have to depend on solely on a man for her well-being and for being taken care of, because she didn't like having to follow his rules, and it was his way or the highway, and excuse me, all this type of stuff. And they give you the horror story. They don't tell you about the fact that they actually was all right with him doing what he wanted to do and telling them what to do because their life was just fine. They don't tell you that part. The part where they had them long marriages and the marriage was just fine. I mean, it went up and down like a regular marriage, but nothing too ridiculous ever happened. And she was just fine. And, she had her kids and he helped to raise them and, stuff like that. Just Big Mama and Big Daddy was just doing what they do. They don't tell you that. They give you this horror story. Oh, he was beating on me. They give you the color purple. They give you that. And then say, well, you definitely don't want your livelihood in the hands of a man that would beat you senseless. Because if a man can raise his fist to you and beat you senseless, he obviously don't care nothing about your well-being. Right? If he would beat you till you black out, he don't care whether you live or die. All right? So you definitely don't want your life in the hands of a man that don't care whether you live or die. So we don't want to be beholden to these men. You want to always have something for yourself, and what I'm saying, keep your little nest egg or something like that. So when he start acting crazy, girl, you can go on ahead and you can make it and pick yourself back up and all that other kind of stuff. This is how all of this foolishness got perpetuated anyway. So now you got a whole group of young women that even when they enter into relationships and marriages still have this singular mindset, and it's competitive. We're not actually together. He's still the ops. I'm with him and I'm having babies by him, but he's still the ops. Now they shaking in their boots if the men take on that same thought pattern. Yeah, I'm with her, but she the ops. Now women don't want to be the ops. But y'all made yourself the ops. Y'all preach to other women to be the ops under the guise of you just looking out for yourself. And listen, here is my thing with the whole you gotta have a nest egg. And if the man is the sole provider, the sole breadwinner, I should say, in the household, what's with the fear that you ain't gonna have no money? Y'all, what's with the fear? Because I promise you, listen, it don't matter if I pull in money together with my husband or if he pull in all the money. I'm gonna have some money. What is y'all doing? I'm trying to figure that out. What y'all doing? You know? Why you ain't got no money? So you mean to tell me you gonna be married to a man that is the breadwinner and you ain't gonna ask for no money? Y'all tweaking whole time. Cause listen, the way I would be if he making all the money, right? Why don't I got $1? Why don't I got $1? You know, and I don't want him to just be issuing me out no money. Listen, it's called y'all don't like the word allowance because it make you feel like a child. But listen, we gonna work out a whole little stipend for me. What is we really saying? And you give me money once a month or whatever, and I had that in my account. He know about it. He giving it to me. Why y'all wouldn't have no money? Don't say it's because you ain't got access to his account. Because y'all with these other little men and they be giving you money and you ain't got access to their account either. So I don't need access to his account. I promise you that. I don't need access. What I need access for? Because what I want, he gonna give it to me. Why would I need? Y'all be so busy trying to sneak something that you just don't ask for it. Y'all be so busy trying to steal it. Y'all be so tunnel visioned in having to steal it. He gonna give it to me. Lioness turn to your lioness neighbor and say he gonna give it to me. What man you deal with don't give you no money? All that hoeing y'all do, and y'all scared y'all man ain't gonna give you no money. Y'all be scared them Johns ain't gonna give you no money. Cause I don't know what kind. I ain't never been with no man. I don't want to give me no money. What is y'all doing? Y'all ain't womaning right or something. Y'all ain't womaning right. Cause there ain't no way. I don't care nothing about me not working. Just say I happen not to work. I don't care nothing about that. Y'all ain't got y'all femininity together. Cause I promise you. Ah, the men in the chat know. Why would he be with a woman he lay with every night and don't pass her $1 to her name? He not gonna even make sure she got $1 to her name. He just gonna see you struggling. He just gonna watch you, you know what I'm saying, scrape up them little 75 cents to get you a little tic tac thing at the counter. He's just gonna watch you do that. What is y'all saying? Y'all know what? I'm finna get out of here. Thank you. Thank you. That's the me and I never ran into. Clan said, if I'm married, my wife don't gotta ask for no money. She gonna get money every week. When I get paid, she get paid. You ain't got to hand over your whole check, but you give her a few dollars. Especially if she got kids. I wish I would be with a man that watch me scuffle for some zooms and web. I wish I would be with a man watch me scuffle. Oh, baby bad. Y'all man watches y'all scuffle. Let me read these super chats because I really hate that for y'all. I hate that for y'all. That y'all man watches y'all scuffle and scrape and scrimp for a couple of the little twos and fews. You make sure you got a couple of little tools and fuse in your pocket. Your husband. Cause y'all be really talking about him. I don't want to not have no work. You know what I'm saying? Because if he in charge of all the finances, that means I ain't got no money. So you ain't gonna make sure you got no tools and fuse. Oh, bet girl. Y'all be really worried about that too. Like y'all be in the comment section concerned that he ain't gonna give you, a couple of little dollars. Mm-mm. Anyway, thank you, Scorched Earth. Said Gen X men are no longer around. Got their passports are off in a secluded neighborhood. Thank you, Daryl. So how can I get a copy of a bio Cultaron poster? If I'm not mistaken, I do have a bio Cultaron poster on the website for free. Thank you, Grown Me and Talkers. It blesses to you. Thank you for all you do. You've been an encouragement for me to grow my channel as an individual. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate you. Thank you, Donovan. Said the beauty of drizzle is this was a reflection of their own delusion. And once they react in a negative light, it proves everything men have said. Exactly. Thank you, Miss C. And thank you for being a member for the whole time, so the other lands understand that all three have to change for a biocultural event to occur. Their spiritual value solidifies biology and they preserve culture and environment so they never have the breakdown that we do. Thank you so much. That's very, very key. Thank you, Tokyo. Said women really gonna flip out when they finally break down and try to temporarily act feminine and the men still say drizzle, drizzle. Right. Thank you, your excellence. Said love you, auntie. Like you saying, my lady don't ask for money. She does tell me what she's spending on. What's mine is hers. Exactly. Now you know he give me a certain amount. Now, if I need something else for something extra that I don't usually buy, or it's a bigger purchase or something like that, you know what I'm saying? You talk to your husband and stuff like that. You talk to your husband and ask him and all that. But just to make sure you got a couple of dollars scratching around in your pocket, y'all worried about that? Y'all worried about him saying, I ain't gonna give her a little dollars. You ain't gonna have no money scratching around in your pocket, girl. And y'all laughs at us, wives. Y'all laughs at the lionesses. But y'all laugh at us. But y'all really be on with the Twitter fingers. Talking about, no, cause you might not have nothing. That's just like the lady that stole $47,000 from her husband. Now she could have got that same amount of money from her husband had she just asked. Had she just asked and said, baby, can I have X amount of dollars every month? And he'd have said, yeah, baby, go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, take it out. And you can have that little extra. It ain't no big old thing. And it wouldn't have been no problem. But she was so bent on stealing. That's what I didn't understand. It was the stealing it for me. Why was you so bent on getting it a sneaky kind of way? What? If nothing else, you supposed to ask him for some money after you give him, after you make him make it rain. And grown women know what I'm talking about. After you make him sleepy, right before he doze off, if nothing else, you're supposed to ask him for some money then. Y'all know we in the ass or nothing. That's because you're stingy with that. You stingy. You could ask him. You could ask him if you wasn't so stingy with that too. Y'all messes up y'all own bag. Listen when I say y'all mess up y'all own bag, because you be able to ask him for you ask the man for the whole world. You try to bring you Jupiter after that. All you got to say is, baby, bring me Jupiter tonight. He'd be like, baby, hold on. Let me get 30 minutes of sleep. I'm going to get right up and get you Jupiter. He be trying to get you Jupiter in the living room. But y'all so stingy with that. Until when you do get to him, he be like, whatever. He should have been gave it to me yesterday, last week when I asked for it. Y'all don't know how to be women. That's part of what the poo-pooing and tutuing is about. That's part of it. Stop playing now. Because you poo-poo and tutu them like 95% just because you want to and you want to poo-poo and tutu them. But that other 5% of poo-pooing and tutuing is for when you asks for stuff. And then you want them to think back to the poo-poo and the tutu. Not the argument. Not how you tried to hold out on sex. You don't want them to think back to that. You want them to think back to the poo-pooing and the tutuing. Like, man, she sure did. Ooh, yeah, baby. You matter of fact, go ahead, order that. Y'all don't know how men work at all. Y'all swear y'all got the game on lock. Y'all don't know the first thing about how men think. Y'all talking about it's a chore to have sex with him. It's impractical to give him a BJ every morning, is it? Is it now? Keep thinking it's impractical. And let lionesses show you how it's done, because we don't think it's impractical. Because you know what we don't want him to say? When we ask for that new pot set we've been dying for, we don't want him to say it's impractical for him to buy it. when it's time for a new car, we don't want him to say it's impractical for him to give it to us. we don't want him to say that. we don't. So the stuff that he asked for is not impractical. See how that works. We not study walking around the house not giving him no box and walking around in a Kool-Aid stained t-shirt and jogging pants. That mess you wear on Instagram, that's what we walking around the house in, fixing pancakes. All that you do on Instagram, we doing in real life in 3D with the husband. All that booty clapping. Y'all on Instagram wilding for attention of men that don't care nothing about you and don't know you. We be in the kitchen with the music turned on, your Bluetooth speaker, mixing grits and twerking. But guess who see it? And you try to play the lioness. Oh, y'all not really attractive. Y'all, yes, we are. We fine as wine. It's just that we don't care for all of Twitter to see it. All that you will not do, we do and get everything we want. Thank you, Gregory. Said Crimson, many of these women don't know how to win like you, and women like Bella love, see, and take heed. Thank you, H. Lewis. Said, preach on, auntie. My wife got my neck steady hurting because I'm always checking her out with her fine self. Exactly. Dude, we try to. That's the other lie. Excuse me, the lionesses ain't fine. Where that lie come from? Where in the ether did that lie come from? That we ain't fine. Since when? Since when? How? That we not as attractive as, let's say, the hyena. That's a lie. That's a lie out the pit of the boneyard. I don't where we getting that lie from? Why we lying? Thank you, Miss Beshua. Said a cute dress or a caftan and an apron is my daily uniform. Please, I got a caftan right now. Just the other week, I went on White Plains Road and got me a couple of little $6 hollers. Y'all don't know how men work at all. But let me get on up out of here. Y'all know what a caftan is? Think a moo, but a better looking moo. I'm going to look up a caftan dress. Because they can be dressy or they can be casual. But this is a caftan dress. I'm going to show y'all because sometimes the men don't know what we be talking about. This is a caftan dress. Wait. These is caftan dresses. Let me try to make that a little bigger. Sometimes they can be kind of dressy, like this one kind of dressy. Or they can be just real casual, like this one kind of casual. Okay. And you can cinch them, you put your little belt around them or something like that. And it's a cute little something. Like I said, sometimes they can be real dressy. They can have shape to them. You have one that's got some shape to it or whatever. All right, that's a caftan. Chrome done told you how to work that. Chrome just told you how to work a caftan. The men know what I'm talking about. But y'all hyenas, y'all don't know how men work, so. Mm-hmm. I really hate that for y'all. Thank you, King Adams, for becoming a member. I appreciate you so very much.
Now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
Thank you so much, sis, in my closet full of captains. Yeah. Thank you to Renzo said from Subaru STI to Buick Enclave twin. Off topic, I know, but haha, and I love it. Exactly. I know what you're talking about. Anyway, I'm on up out of here, y'all. Jump down in the comment section. Hey, also become a member of the channel. Somebody put my membership link. I got 2 levels. First level is just basic support of the channel. Second level is where you get all of the content. I got some content to post today. I forgot to post it yesterday, but I'm gonna post it today. And I'm gonna say, y'all give me y'all feedback. I need all the members to give me their feedback on what they think about it. And of course, we're gonna make some changes, but I need y'all feedback for this one. All right, members. So thank you so very much. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.